Welcome back. If you're new, we have been working on our bathroom addition or just an extra room addition on our tiny cabin. We had to kind of take a break. We had our daughter's spring break and some really bad weather and things like that. And this week we should get back to it. But first, we're going to work a little bit in our garden. Sean is building a raised bed today, and I'm uncovering some potatoes I put in about 5 weeks ago. And I think they're sprouting up, but I'm not sure since I've never done this before. But I'm going to show you the garden and also some things that we have planned for it. We hope that we will have some stuff grow this year, but it's our first time, so we don't know. Let's see. Okay, so here's our garden bed. It used to be covered with hay. I took it all out for now to just see what was going on with the potatoes I planted. These garlic we planted last October, and they've been doing great. And then I researched, and you could plant potatoes next to garlic, so I decided to make the rest of the bed a potato bed. But now I see things growing in here that I don't think I planted. Well, I know I didn't plant. Like, these things are definitely not potatoes because I didn't plant potatoes there. So I'm guessing I should take them out. And then these things, like that I think are potatoes, are doing fine there, but it's just weird. I really don't know. And so I'm off to Google. Let's see what I find out. All right, so what I decided to do is basically uncover it because some of the hay was really kind of still wet from the rain, and that was 3 days ago. So I felt like the rain, like the wetness was rotting the top of the potatoes that wanted to grow. So I uncovered them so they could dry out a little bit and get sun. And then I'll cover them up back tonight because we expect some cold weather overnight, but I'm gonna do it a little bit less. I just want to cover it so it doesn't get frostbite, basically, even though it's not going to freeze. Anyways, so we built this fence around our garden bed without much planning. We just did however long the wire that we bought was, so we just kind of did it around the garden bed that was already here. So for this next garden bed, we're just gonna put it here for this year, and Sean's already got the outer parts laid out, and then he'll finish with more logs. We're gonna make it taller also because it's so low to the ground it's a little bit tough, but we're gonna make it a little bit taller. He's up there working on cutting some more logs. These are all logs that we tore down, cut from before, and we'll see how it turns out. And then on this side, last summer, at the end of the summer, I put these in. I just spread some wildflowers seeds, but I wasn't sure what was gonna happen, and nothing ever did, so I just thought it was too hot, but they've been sprouting. We actually got little tiny flowers so far, but hopefully we get flowers here too. So we'll have flowers, garlic, potatoes, and then tomatoes and some other stuff.
Whoa. This feels good though. At first I was, oh sorry.
No, I wanted you to keep talking.
At first I was like getting worn out pretty fast.
I was gonna say, does it feel like summer?
Yeah, but now I feel like I've gotten a second wind.
That's what when they say motivation comes from doing.
Yeah.
Like, you can't wait to be motivated to do something. You have to do it.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, this is the last one.
Yay.
Did you see how the other one fit in there?
Perfect.
I haven't nailed it in yet, but
Oh, but it's good.
yeah.
Very exciting. Now I have to fill it.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking at first that I had to do another one, because I was thinking I need 2 for the gap and I need 2 more to go across the top, and then I'm like, no, wait,
You're done.
that's too many.
Unless you want to make it taller, but then you need 4 more.
Right.
It's okay. Harder than you thought?
Yeah, but worth it.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks amazing. I love it so much. Look at this. Of course, now I have to fill it, but that will come. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Today is a chainsaw day and kind of cleanup. We kind of always know that this is not going to get done on one day. But Sean is sharpening all his chainsaw chains, which is like 4 of them right now. I only have 1, so I'm able to come and clean, but then I'll have to sharpen again soon, because then all this stuff won't get cut. We might burn later today. It's a lot. There it is. The clearing is getting bigger. We still have a good chunk of trees to clear on the corner over there. And all these oak trees that are kind of skinny, those will be firewood actually, but they're in the way of the house, so we're gonna take those down. But the cedar are just easier to clean up and burn, and if we chop those down, we have to make them into firewood size, so it takes a little bit more time. But all in one day's work. It was about like 4 trees that we had to burn. We don't burn the whole tree usually. We just take the branches and burn the branches and keep the logs for things like the garden bed that you guys saw earlier and other stuff. Cedar is very flammable and burns really fast, so we cannot use it for firewood. It has a lot of sap. It creates a mess in the wood stove. A new compost sifter, dirt sifter.
We have a whole
composting system. So this pile of compost is just gonna sit and finish off. This is in the middle. You can't see that well, but is where we'll add any new like scraps, kitchen scraps. And then this little pile over here is stuff that we'll just add to cover it. And then once this big pile is done, I think I'm gonna get a compost thermometer. We'll sift it using our new handy dandy sifter that Sean just built, so that all the big chunks could come out and we'll have nice fine dirt on the bottom. Also, we're gonna go down to the other side of our property and find some dirt and use this to sift it because it's gonna be full of rocks. We'll see how it goes, but I love it so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So clear and beautiful. It's beautiful.
What are those black things?
Probably the little things, probably little shells. There are fishies in there. They look like the fish.
So I'm making this part of the video because this week we've only really worked in the garden and we haven't really worked too much on the addition or the cabin itself. We did clear some of the area that's in the area where the house, our actual house is gonna be this week, but that's pretty much it. It's really hard some weeks. And I remembered that I'm not making these videos to show you guys how hard it is, and how like that you shouldn't do this. If I'm making these videos to show our perspective, to show that even though it's hard, we choose this hard. And whether you live on grid, off grid, have a regular job, don't have, you know, like everybody has a hard. And we are choosing this hard because it's very fulfilling for us. And this is the way that we've decided to live out our lives. And I think it's super important to show people the different perspectives. And I wish that everybody could do this. I do. And I feel like I just look sad in all of my parts of the videos, or I'm just constantly showing you guys how hard it is. And this is one of those weeks where it is hard and we are not making a lot of progress, or it doesn't seem like it. But the reason why I keep showing up and doing it and showing you in videos is because if we can do it, anybody can do it. Or you can choose what your heart is going to be. Like if your goal seems hard, stick with it or go for it, because it's either that or some other thing that you're not gonna like, and not doing something that you don't like is hard too. So I don't know, I just wanted to add that this week because I'm sitting here on the floor, and finally 2 weeks after we installed the floor is when I finally filled the gap between the rooms. I'll show you now. So this is the room that we've been building as the addition, and I'm sitting in the main part of the cabin, and this piece is the doorway, and we hadn't filled it in yet. It had been sitting here just collecting dust, and finally today I did it, and it was so hard. It took me about an hour, look at this mess, to measure and cut it correctly. And yeah, and so that's what I was working on when I was sitting here and got inspired to talk to you guys. So yeah, that's why. And I wanted to show my face smiling at least, because a lot of times I think I look sad, and I'm not sad. I love living out here and doing what we're doing, even if it's not conventional or it doesn't seem normal to some of you. Anyways, thanks for listening. Okay, so continuing with this week's garden introduction, kind of. I think this is where I'm going to end the video, at least for this week, is next week we should have like spring weather, and so I'm going to start all our seeds. I don't have like a growing place or anything, so they're all gonna start outside. But the reason I'm gonna start them like in smaller containers, like you see over here, I'm gonna show you, is because I don't want to, if they don't sprout, then I don't want to put them in the ground, since our garden is so tiny for right now. So this is what we have for our garden. I showed you before. Sean just made that garden bed. This is the garden bed that was already there. It has garlic and potatoes, and then in the one that Sean made, I want to put tomatoes. And then he's gonna make another one, hopefully right here, for peppers, and then some for sweet potatoes. But one interesting thing, or at least one unique thing to us, is we have 12 acres of land. We are on a hill, and so on the other side of our land, we have in the middle of it, we have an electrical easement that the county maintains. And so because the county maintains it, we heard that they put like Roundup, which is poison, and so we went to collect some dirt from the other side, and I'm going to test it by sprouting beans in them. And if the beans sprout but then die, then we know that that dirt is not usable. But if we can use this dirt, it will save us a lot of money in filling our garden beds, and I'll show you now. This is the dirt I collected down on the other side of the easement. I sifted it using my new sifter over there behind Daisy. That's Daisy, our scarecrow. The sifter that Sean used, that I showed you guys. And then this is my seed starting station. This is just, I've been saving all of our berry containers because they drain, and we'll see if they worked or not. But these are strawberries, which are drying a lot faster than I thought. So I think I'm supposed to keep them moist but not soaked. So anyways, that's that. This is where I'm gonna start the beans to test that soil. This other soil that I bought is just that seed starting soil I bought at the store. This is grass that I've been transplanting from like grassy patches other places, seeing if the roots spread so that I could just move it to the patches around here that haven't filled in yet. So we'll see how that works. This is milkweed that I sprouted, but I didn't give enough light to, so I don't know if it's gonna work, but it might. And that's more grass. And so I'll clean this up kind of and start more seeds, all the seeds next week. Tomatoes, onions, peppers, and a couple other flowers and things like that. And then last thing to note for this video, the clover that's here, we spread it back in the fall, and so it has grown, but because of the winter and things like that, and also the rain washing over it, it covered a lot of it. But it has grown, and we expect that next week and in the spring it's gonna thrive. Last year in another patch of our land, we sowed clover seed in March. So this time last year, it thrived all spring, but then it died with a heat wave. So with this, we hope that it'll be well established enough by the time the heat wave comes, if it does, that we'll still have a decent green patch. But we think that with the spring, all this patchy stuff will fill in. And it's just our little area right in front of our tiny cabin. So tiny cabin, our porch or deck, our green space, our seed starting / grill station, our garden, and then past the garden is our compost area. And hopefully coming soon, late spring, early summer, is gonna be chickens. You heard it here first, folks. Chickens. So hopefully in that area over there, right there, will be a chicken coop and our first bout of chickens. And then you might have all seen the video I posted of Sean. It's a short, but I'll link it after this video so you could watch it. Sean made this garden gate with cedar from our from our land. All the posts of the garden are cedar from our land too. And then I made that sign. I had made one for Christmas. There's a short for that too. For this sign, I made one for Christmas, and then I want to make one for each season. So this is the one for spring, and hopefully I'll make one for the summer and the fall. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm trying to get better at this, and it's been a lot of fun. So I really appreciate the people who have been watching and commenting. I know it's mostly my friends now, but I really, really do appreciate it. So thanks so much. See you next week.